Wow, I'm so big. Dun, 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 dun. Good morning, everyone. Tommy, good morning. Falling Down was a great movie. Am I covering the big gambling bust? Test 1, test 2. Are we up and running, guys? Can you hear me? Why is my little thing not moving? If you can hear me, yes. We'll be talking about the gambling bust. If you'd like to come up, you may. If you have any inside info, we're good. Okay, cool. If you got any inside baseball on that. Sweet Tea, good morning. Those license plate you sent Slim are awesome. I want to get a couple. I think I'll send him a couple too. Sweet Tea sent Slim to his P.O. box. You know those little miniature license plates that go like on motorcycles? She sent him one that says Cricket, one that says Solitaire, one that says Treats, and one that says Ms. T. So Slim's collecting he's going to start like a board of all of his subscribers and people that watch his show with the license plates, like a board of those little miniature license plates. I thought that was pretty cool. So good job, Sweet Tea. But yeah, gambling bust, and I have a couple other videos that I'll play just to get into it before we get to the big gambling bust. Let's see here. More bookmarks. Gambling. Like that one. I'm done gambling. All right. Well, I like, Tulsi Gabbard. She's my favorite. I want her to be president. At least her and RFK Jr. I always say that. I love these two people. She's excuse me, all serious business. She's out there doing what, she's supposed to be doing. The director of national intelligence out there keeping us safe.
Counterterrorism Center supported through actionable intelligence to both U.S. law enforcement as well as Mexican law enforcement the arrest of a Sinaloa cartel boss, El Plato, in Juarez, Mexico, as well as his top 3 money launderers. In a separate and recent successful interagency operation, NCTC worked closely with the U.S. Marshals Service that led to the arrest of another dangerous Sinaloa cartel member responsible for tracking huge amounts of cocaine and hundreds of thousands of dollars in this single incident with drug proceeds through his network. And I'll say the last example I'll share is probably the most insidious, was providing intelligence to the Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla. Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections, harvesting organs, and selling newborn babies. Mr. President, it's your leadership that has made all of this possible. I can tell you, in the midst of this government shutdown, our folks, like everyone around this table, are working 24/7 without pay and eager to get after this because they believe in your leadership and the mission.
So I don't know if you guys heard what she said, but it's something that I talked about extensively. Dawn, good morning. Years ago, when my mom was still alive, they had Mexican chop shops, where the cartels were rounding up people and chopping their bodies up. But what people didn't realize was that they were organ harvesting. massive organ harvesting operations going on with the Chinese and selling people's body parts to the Chinese. And, my mom always thought I was crazy when I would tell her shit like this, but she always had that look in her eye that, like she knew I wasn't fucking stupid, that there's obviously was something to what I was fucking ranting about. And this is it. This is exactly what I was talking about back in 2015. They have chop shops and they call them chop shops, chop houses in Mexico, where they literally bring in these people that, they're professionals. They're just not in there with the, fucking chainsaws and shit. They're in there with fucking, they basically take them into hospitals and shit. It's basically like fucking a hospital in there, and they fucking do, it's unbelievable. So thank God she's in there doing that, and I've also been thinking like, okay, so we're blowing up little narco boats off the coast of Venezuela. Like that's going to do anything to the dents in fucking drug trafficking, sex trafficking? Are you kidding me? I was like, what about fucking Mexico? They're the ones that are, while the world is watching the little toy boats being blown up off the coast of Mexico, Tulsi's in there. Those people are probably just waking up one morning and being surrounded by fucking masked gunmen and being like, oh, fuck, gig is up. At least I hope that's what happened, So Tulsi and Taylor Green are my girls. Like, yeah, exactly. Magooch, what's going down? Captain Kangaroo. Captain Kang. I don't know if we're talking about Captain Kang McCoo. That's my nickname for Dawn. How you doing, Magooch? Hope the weather's good. Weather's been good here. I got to go out. I have a busy weekend going out to sell, and then I heard some fucking talk about a 50-mile-an-hour gust of wind, and hasn't rained all week, but now it's going to rain right when I get ready to go out and sell, which I don't really care about the rain. It's the wind, because they shut down one of our events last week because of the wind. And I made way too much stuff this weekend to have anything shut down. So if it does shut down, I'm just going to go out to like one of my normal spots and just set up anyways. Because I have over 200 caramel apples and all kinds of shit. It's all I've been doing is working. I wasn't even going to go live this morning, but I was like, fuck it. I got 16 pounds of strawberries to dip, and then I got to decorate some strawberry shortcakes and some other shit. But once I heard about the gambling scheme, I was like, fuck it, we got to go live for a minute and talk about this. But yeah, so they're down there busting up the cartels and finally going after those shops where they're literally cutting people's bodies apart and organ harvesting. So, if you're some rich psychotic fucking whatever, you can order a new lung, a new heart, a new kidney, a new spleen. Well, I don't know what exactly. I mean, this is going to sound like a lie, literally, but there's talks that they literally can do head transplants now. I don't know how it works. Have not seen any science behind it, but that's what Alex Jones was talking about the other day. So, Dawn says, yep, showers and storms here Saturday, and I got my car event on Saturday night. Damn. Yep, we're all dealing with the weather right now. Dawn, that was a good one. Yep. Glad you went live. Thank you, sweet tea. Head transplants. I don't know how it all works. We're really, the singularity theory and just us becoming like, part machine is really becoming a reality if you think about it. The more we stare at our phones and the more that we're all connected, it's just going to be one like working consciousness eventually, or we all just work in, all of our thoughts work in tandem and are just downloaded to some supercomputer that spits out, whatever. Who knows what it's going to be? It's all very interesting. But anyway, a lot of people, they don't talk about this shit. This shit should be on front page news, but it's not because, the media can't be trusted. The government cannot be trusted. And it's not like that they don't know that this is going on. In fact, believe it or not, you have to have, the banks have to be involved in order to pull off an operation like this. So, I don't know what to say. There's a lot of people involved in it, and it just is what it is. If you're rich and you're connected, you can maybe have people even killed and take their body parts. It's already well documented about the organ harvesting. It goes on in China. We've all heard the stories about people waking up in bathtubs full of ice, and it's real. It's a real thing, guys. And that's a lot of reason why we have so many Mexicans in this country. You can't blame people for wanting to get away from that shit. It's insane. All right, we'll move on. Enough of the body chopping. It's important though to me when I see this is like real news right here to me. I'm like, okay, this is the shit that we need to be fucking going after. These dangerous, horrible fucking operations globally, because they do trickle back to the United States. Does Soros own the labs? I'm sure he has something to do with it. I'm sure he does. If you want, the chop shops and organ harvesting, a lot of that, has to do, and I hate to say it, but Israel is like one of the main, they're the founders, because this is all like part of think about it, it's part of the transgender thing too, organ harvesting and moving body parts around and, tucks and nips, and it's all fucking very weird. Very, very weird. I love this. This is just this guy describing Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas.
He looks like a little pig, like a piggy bank full of Jewish money. That's Ted Cruz. He's a piggy bank full of Jewish money. That's why he's fat. He's stuffed full of shekels.
Very accurate. That is Ted Cruz in a nutshell. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into the NBA scandal real quick. One second. One sec, guys. What's a kidney worth? I have no idea, Don. Worth big money, I know that. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Share screen. I want to hear from a mobster about this. The heck? Hold on, guys. What did I do?
Well, all is very good, very blessed on this end. As always, my friends, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to our God for that. Well, you never know what's going to happen when you wake up in the morning. And today I am being bombarded, I would say, by all the news media because of this latest arrest and scandal with the NBA and gambling. And everybody's hitting me up, and I understand why. I'm kind of the go-to guy on this because I've been working with all the pro leagues and the NCAA about gambling and players getting involved in it for 30 years now. As a matter of fact, I was recruited out of prison when I was, about 6 months away from coming home, and started working with all the major leagues back then. And obviously that was followed up by the NCAA, and have done over 300 universities, both Division I and Division II, speaking to all the student athletes over the years. So why did they pick me? Because I had a big gambling operation on the street. I had 12 or 13 bookmakers working for me at that time. And so obviously I knew a lot of athletes get in trouble all the time, with respect to gambling. It happens. I don't like to throw a a wide net over everybody. But listen, you got to understand with athletes, gambling is an extension of their competitiveness. They raise the stakes when they gamble. And this is what happens. Many of them get in trouble, whether they be in pros or in college, but it's been happening and it will continue to happen. Now, 4 of the 5 New York families were involved in this investigation. It just broke this morning. And, oddly enough, the Colombos, my former associates, my former family, they weren't involved. So either they were smart and didn't get themselves in trouble, or somehow they're missing the boat. I don't know what it is. But let's get into this a little bit. Let me make you understand this, people. It's always going to continue. I did a media deal this morning, and they said to me, Michael, we haven't heard much about organized crime, ever since, the Gotti days. We haven't heard much. You don't hear that much. Let me tell you something. They got smart. They're working undercover now. It's not the same as it was in my lifetime. No doubt about that. But they're not going away. And I've said this many times. They're not going away in my lifetime. They're very resourceful, and gambling will always be a major business of Cosa Nostra. That's just how it is. It's very attractive. It's very lucrative. Guys love to gamble.
I'm gonna stop it right there. So, my first take on it is that that's Michael Franchise. He's like I think he turned state, like he became an informant, but he was big time money maker for the Colombo family. Like allegedly he was making $10 million a week in some type of like gasoline operation. And like he said, he had 12 or 13 bookmakers under him, and this has been going on for a long time. And he's right. It's going to continue. It's nothing new. This is part of sports. And anytime you have gambling, of course you're going to have people cheating. It just is what it is. He had one of the best breakdowns. Yeah, he's an expert when it comes to some things, and I know he's, a lot of people don't like him, but you got to give credit where credit's due, I guess. But yeah, and so my big takeaway of it so far is that's the one thing that people have to realize: don't gamble if you don't want to lose your money. Just that's number one, first and foremost, regardless of anything else. And tell your kids the same thing: do not gamble unless you want to lose your money, because you will get cheated out of it eventually, one way or the other. And I've been saying this for years, and I'm just completely talking out my ass because I have no evidence to back this up other than just my own personal beliefs and just like my, intuitions. But I know that they're fucking cheating in all aspects of gambling, from top to bottom, the table games, poker, all of it. And so the question is not how could they be cheating? It's why are they bringing the story out? That's what I'm wondering. Like, why now? Like, why are they choosing to throw people under the bus and bring this out in the media? It kind of reminds me of Diddy a little bit. Like, who did now is like the names that we know, like Chauncey Billups and hold on, let me bring up my chat GPT real quick. You guys know I bring receipts here. Boy, how much should I read? Terry Rozier, guard for Miami Heat. Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones. See, Terry Rozier is accused of supplying non-public information about his status being used by bettors. Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, alleged to have served as a face card for an illegal gambling enterprise tied to rigged to high-stake poker games, meaning that, come to this poker game because Chauncey Billups is going to be there type of thing. Damon Jones, former NBA player, is also named in the indictments for providing inside information for bettors. Jonte Porter, former NBA player, was previously banned for life in the NBA for providing insider info betting on games and leaving early after informing associates. And then Malik Beasley is under federal investigation for alleged prop betting / gambling associated with the NBA, the 2023-2024 season. The poker we'll get into in a minute. Don't know him, but he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, he's got some pretty good shows, actually. Good old Michael Franchise. Simple, this type of stuff sells papers, 100%, Don. Oh, you mean for why they're bringing it out now? Yeah, I don't know. There's, I don't think the devil's in the details. There's more people. I have a feeling that somebody big name is going to come out about, like Michael Jordan, or I don't know. Somebody pissed somebody off. That's what I think. I remember when Chauncey played for the Celtics, right? Detroit, coach trained Detroit. Yeah, I don't know. So it's nothing new. This is, gambling and cheating. One of the things that they said is for poker with this guy, Chauncey, but this is why I know it's bullshit. They used X-ray machines. They used some chip reading, card reading technology, and glasses that only they could see. Now, are you that dumb? You got millions of dollars to be at a poker game to gamble with, and you're so dumb to be fooled by glasses that can read marked cards. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, that, the first thing that I would do if I was at a poker game with and I'm playing a cash game with millions of dollars and somebody's wearing fucking some weird ass shit, I would either make them take them, like if they're wearing weird ass fucking contacts, take them out, and let me see your glasses. I'm putting everybody's glasses on and looking at the cards. At a blackjack table, they take the discard pile and they, like when the dealer takes all the cards and, they put them in that little, it's a rose colored stacker. That's where the discards go, all the extra cards that they've just used. And the reason that thing is rose colored is because rose colored is the easiest color to see a mark on a card. And so, the bosses are trained to, look through the thing, and surveillance can see it too. Look through the rose colored, that little device right there, and that's an ancient old thing. They have way better technology than that now, but that's just like 101. Not to mention, so they're talking about this now. When I was in college in 92, up in Bellingham, I went to Western Washington University up in Bellingham. And the first tribal casino to open up in the state of Washington was right around that time. And it was the Lummi tribe right up there by Canada, Bellingham. They were the first ones to get it. And I was pissed because I couldn't go because I was only 18. I had just turned 18. And you had to be 21 to go to the casino. But there was a story where these alleged Canadians, quote unquote Canadians, were coming in there and cleaning house, playing blackjack. I think it was just blackjack, if I'm not mistaken. And come to find out that they were, and part of their scam is they were wearing glasses and the cards were chemically treated. And there was people from the casino that were in on it, and then the players. And so like a whole thing got busted. But they're not the only ones. Tulalip got busted. The Emerald Queen got busted. So many casinos have got busted for different cheating scams. The Emerald Queen, the one right by my house, where I will be there this morning, actually, for their tribe, not at the casino, because today's Friday, Jesus Christ. So in 6 hours, and these guys, the feds came in and fucking arrested all the blackjack dealers on shift. And this is before they had, the little red green light for the blackjack tables. They had the little mirror, and so they were given signals. And people are so stupid. They think that these casinos don't know about this shit. They've been knowing about this. They know every which way you could cheat. They know more ways. They know when you're going to cheat. They know the night before. They're like, oh, this motherfucker's getting ready to cheat tomorrow. They already know before you get there. That's how good they are at knowing that shit. And so they came in and arrested a whole bunch of people because they were given hand signals. And then there was they have done so much shit. There was in Baccarat, the one dude at the Emerald Queen, they opened up his locker and found a whole bunch of $100 chips in his locker. And that was his payout, because they were literally taking, in Baccarat, you use 8 decks. They do that for blackjack now too. 8 decks of cards. These motherfuckers were pre-shuffling Baccarat decks, okay? The whole fucking stack of 8 decks, and memorizing it. The players would memorize it. And then you have to wash all the cards and, shuffle them right there on the table, right in front of everybody, in front of surveillance. And they somehow, once they got all the cards stacked together and were getting ready to put it into that black shoe where all the cards go, they call that thing the shoe. They switched it out with the deck that they shuffled at home and sorted the cards out. Can you fucking believe that? That's a true story. They had the nerve to fucking switch the entire 8 decks out in front of surveillance at a Baccarat table at the Emerald Queen. But they got away with it for a while. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this gambling and fucking cheating, it goes on in every casino. So, and it probably goes on in every game. Nothing new. So I just wonder why it's coming out now. X-ray vision, Don. Yeah. So they have, so the poker tables, these poker tables have, so the cards can read through, the table can read. They had some type of X-ray. You guys know I bring receipts. Hold on. Bum, 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 bum. The indictment describes poker tables built with X-ray devices or table surfaces capable of reading cards placed face down on the felt. That means cards thought to be hidden by players were allegedly visible to the riggers. Tables or chip trays were equipped with hidden cameras or card reading sensors. For instance, a chip tray could carry a camera that identifies the rank and suit of cards placed on the table. Pre-marked decks, some cards were altered with symbols or identifiers only visible to certain viewers wearing special glasses or contact lenses so that the conspirators could know what cards were in play. A high-stakes poker game would be set up in a luxury underground location, Manhattan, East Hampton, Las Vegas. Rich players, the fish, would often be invited with a celebrity former athlete or coach present, called the face card, like Chauncey Billups. The conspirators would control the deck and shuffling table tech. So they had, they have those card shufflers now. Well, that thing has got hidden technology in it. But they all do. Any casino can rig their card counters, and they do. No, they do. Trust me, they do. Let's see here. This is the part that can get people in trouble, though. When the victim loses big, the organization uses intimidation, extortion, or threats to enforce payment. Then funds are laundered. Cash, shell companies, crypto, through the organized crime structure. So that's the part that so it said for the X-ray tables, the table or its felt surface could read cards laid face down, enabling insiders to see card identity that ordinary players could not. So let me get back to the chat. They use special card shoes too. They had the whole thing rigged. Yep. Cotrain, really, I didn't remember that. I know they used to call him Big Shot in Detroit. Gooch Mustang. How you doing, Mustang Mike? I don't know if I said hi. Watch some Mickey Mace videos and you'll never go to the casino again. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I think that might be the dice guy. Oh, no, Mickey Mace. That's the guy with all the tattoos, I think. Yeah, I worked at Muckleshoot. I worked at a bingo hall for 8 years in a game called Speed Bingo. And then I worked in a casino, an actual casino, tribal casino, for 7 years. I think I told you guys that. I have a little bit of a casino background. I've seen some weird things go on in the casino. Osada, I saw a craps table start smoking in the middle of a shoot in a private game one night. Holy shit. Like it was smoking like there was a device underneath the table or something, huh? The electrical device that see in a casino, because I was a dice dealer. In a casino, when you go to a craps table, you get 5 dice to choose from. All 5 of those dice have razor sharp edges. You can cut yourself on those dice. And all 5 of those dice have 3 numbers on them, and they all have the same 3 numbers. And those dice are specifically weighted to a certain weight. And so the box person, the guy sitting down at the dice table, if you were to throw a dice off the table and the stick guy says dice down and out, you can yell same. If you're the shooter, you can say same dice. And they'll grab that dice off the floor and hand it to the box, and the box will inspect it. The first thing he does is make sure that it's got those 3 numbers that he knows they should have. Because if you switch the dice real quick, you're not going to have those same 3 numbers. And then if you're somehow that good to put the 3 numbers on there, which is impossible, but if you were, then he's got a couple other tricks up his sleeve to make sure that it's the right dice. But and the box guy watches, if you notice on a dice table, when the shooter throws the dice, pretty much everybody's watching the dice except for the box. The box and the stick are supposed to watch, the box and the base, the guy that's on the side of the shooter, they don't watch the dice. The box watches the hand of the shooter. Even after the dice are in the air, he's still got his eyes on that shooter and seeing if he's palming any dice or what the fuck is going on over there. And then he'll take his eyes off the shooter. This is a good box person anyway. And then he'll watch the dice after that. Everything is for a reason. All the money those guys make, and they still got to do this. That's just greed. Nick, good morning. Good to see you. Yeah. Well, we know there's a lot of people, even, you look at 30 for 30, most people go broke that are in professional sports. They all go broke. So, and like Michael Franchi says, it's like an extension of, I think that's who said it. It's an extension of their competitiveness, and it's always going to be there. But yeah, no, like who was it? I think it was that what's the one guy's name again? Terry Rozier. I think he had like a $160 million contract. He's making this year. He's making every year. He makes more. He was making 25 million this year, and probably like 26, 27 million next year. And yet he's doing that. It's crazy. Crazy town. You're right. Yeah, the dude with the tattoos all over his face. The Mickey guy. Yeah. They had magnets under the tables to control the dice on it, overheated in the middle of guys shooting. That's hilarious. which, you know, I mean, dice is such bad odds anyways. People think it's good odds, but it's really not. It's really not. You know, if you have razor sharp dice that are truly weighted properly, and an alligator back wall with the spikes in it, so you truly get random rolls, the house is gonna win every time. I mean, we could go into a whole dice breakdown, but I don't think we want to do that today. But there's 36 combinations on 2 dice, and the highest they'll pay you for one roll, if you get, say, like snake eyes or boxcars, is 30 to 1. When true odds should be 36 to 1. You know, and even if you you know, the casinos will offer 5 or 10 times odds on the back line for the pass line. Even that, I mean, yeah, it makes your bet a little bit more in your advantage after if you get past the come out roll. But like my casino boss, because I talked about this one time with my casino boss, he's like, bullshit. He goes, that just means you can lose your money faster. I said, yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, let's get back to it. I was smart today and brought my my honey lemon tea with me, because I get talking and pissed off, and then I notice my voice goes. Now, as much as people don't like Michael Franzese, you know, in that genre, some people, I personally don't really have an opinion about it. I just think he's a good storyteller. He's like a really good storyteller. I fucking hate this guy, Stephen A. Smith. What a fucking tool. You want me to go on a rant about somebody? It's this fucking tool. I mean, he is just a mutt. And, you know, apparently he's going to be up there debating on the presidential stage on the next election. You know, he's trying to become president. So good luck with that, Stephen A. Smith. See No Evil, good morning. Good to see you. It's really the best odds in the house besides slots compared to all other table games. Baccarat is the best odds because it's basically a 50-50 bet, other than if you bet on the banker, they get they take a 5% commission. If you bet player, it's 50-50. They take no commission. And it's just that the banker has a built-in slight advantage. I don't know if you know how to play Baccarat, but Baccarat, if you're ever going to gamble in the casino, even if you don't know what you're doing, I promise you, you will come out ahead in the long run. I'm not saying you'll come out ahead, but you'll have more money in the long run as if all you do is play Baccarat, even if you don't know what you're doing. I promise you, because there's 2 options. You either bet on player or you bet on banker. And you'll always notice that's where all the Asians are at, and where the biggest bets are being played in the casino are always on the Baccarat table. But yeah, no, I mean, dice is not bad. And, you know, and I've been on some monster rolls, you know, as a dice dealer. I've been on a couple 2-hour rolls where, you know, you've got $50,000 on the table type of thing, you know, lots and lots of money, where you have 8 people betting, you know, basically not maxed out, but there's lots of $500 chips out there. Doesn't happen very often though. It never happens anymore. It used to. El Toro, good morning. Good to see you. Everybody's just saying hi. Thank you, Toro. Baccarat. Yeah, Baccarat is the casino game to play. Let's listen to, and it's basically just you got to get to 9. Player gets 2 cards, banker gets 2 cards. Face cards and 10s are worth 0. And it's you're trying to get to 9.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list.
You know, I can't even concentrate on anything he says. I just look at him and just in disgust. Look at his high forehead. And I mean, the guy is such a tool. It's like, you know, you don't even have to pay attention to what he's saying. He just has like a rhythm, the way he talks. And he tries to come off like a religious man. Like, you know, he gives a sermon and he has a certain tick and a certain rhythm to the way he talks. And so when he talks, if you're easily influenced by music and beats, when he talks, you're like, yeah, say it. You know, I mean, he's just, he's such a fucking tool. I can't even concentrate on what he says because he says literally nothing of substance. Osada, do you remember about 10 years ago, the black woman in the Borgata on a 5-hour roll betting nickels and dimes? She could have cleaned them out. She only won $60K. I do not. 5-hour roll is fucking insane. That's got to be the world record. Good for her for winning $60K though, because I know a lot of people that would only have won $60 or $600 on that 5-hour roll. Because dice is not an easy game to know how to play it right. Looks like Fat Albert cartoon character, the Hornet. Yes, good one. See no evil. Tool, that's a great band. Yeah, Tool is a good band. Anyway, let's go back to this guy for a second.
List. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the...
So, long story short with this guy, he's basically insinuating that it's because Trump's president that this is happening, that this is paybacks for a lot of the shit that these people put Trump through when Biden was president. Very well possibly could be. And I hope it is. Myself personally, I hope it is fucking paybacks. Because one thing's for sure, I guarantee I'll never believe that it's because that there's people in the government that are looking out for our best interests and want to see the integrity of sports back to its, where it should be. Because the whole foundation of professional sports is based on the mob and illegal gambling and fixing and shaving. The whole thing, that it's not that, oh, we should stop this. You can't stop it. That's what it is. That's what it is. You will never stop something that is what it is unless you destroy it. You would completely have to shut the sports down, which, possibly could happen. They could calibrate what the professional sport scene looks like because they're trying to go global. They have issues with China. But could they possibly dismantle the NBA? Maybe. It's all about the money. You have to follow the money. My throat again. I ran out of my lemon tea. You know what the odds are to hold the dice for 5 hours? Yeah, it's like zero. I mean, if you're on a good roll. Now, the problem is on a good roll on a dice table, when you have a bunch of idiots, your dice game is going to get slowed down to a crawl. It's going to get slowed down to a crawl. And inevitably in 5 hours, if that's a public casino, inevitably somebody's going to fuck you over. It's going to be somebody's hands are going to hit the dice and it's going to roll on a 7. Somebody's going to come up behind and say 7 out, or let me get 10 on number 7, or, like they'll just find a way. But yeah, 5 hours, I've never heard of such a thing. I always thought like 2 hours was the max. But theoretically, it is possible. Stephen A. would fuck a snake if you held. He is a mutt. Yeah, 100% Magooch. My grandfather was a craps player, and he would have been pissed watching nickel and dime bets. So I do. In fact, the lady just texted me a couple days ago. I'm from time to time work for this company. It's called 21 for Fun. They do fantasy casino parties. I go out like on cruise ships or different businesses. And I only work for those guys once in a while because I love them to death. It's an older couple that owns the business. And Wendy just texted me yesterday or 2 days ago and wanted me to work on like December 12th. I told her I was already booked, which I'm booked on the 13th. So I can't work. I just can't do it. But one of my favorite things to do, because they have entire dice tables that we bring and we set them up. They come in pieces and we put them together. He's got blackjack tables, roulette tables, poker tables, dice tables. And we'll go to like a law office. He does Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon. Well, I don't think he does Amazon anymore. I think they're gone. Lots of big companies. We'll set up at like the Boeing Museum of Flight on top of the Space Needle, on their observation deck. Places like that. I've been everywhere. Maidenbauer Center, Columbia Tower, Soma Tower. I've been everywhere. Cruise ships all over the Pacific Northwest. And one of my favorite things to do is to teach people how to play dice, because everybody is intimidated to play dice that are not, there's very few people. And the rule of thumb in the casino business is the harder the game is to play, the better the odds. So if you can just come in and just throw money in and press a button, good luck on winning. You know what I mean? Like roulette, horrible odds. Slots, horrible odds. Baccarat, very complicated to know how to play. Poker, complicated to know how to play. Dice, complicated to know how to play. So, See No Evil was crazy. I look up at the Borgata. When they are upset when they reap what they sow. Yeah. I work way too hard for my money to gamble, 100%. And it's all rigged. How about all the slot machine players that get free cruises? What is the secret? The secret is there's people out there that spend a lot of money gambling. They really do. They just throw their money away. There's a lot of people. That's what they do. They gamble. I don't miss working in the casino business. I have PTSD from the dice tables. I'll never forget, and I haven't worked. It's been almost 20 years. It's been 18 years since I worked in the casino. But I never forget, like Friday and Saturday nights at 10 p.m. when I would start, I would literally do the Father, Son, Holy Ghost before you have to tap the person on the shoulder and then jump into that game. It was jumping into fucking hell. And you're not getting off till 6 a.m. It's 10 p.m. and people are fucking screaming and, drinking and smoking and, give me a $12 6 and a hard, $3 hard 8 and your sister's ass and fuck. I don't miss it. I do not miss it. jumping in. You spend 100,000 per jumping in. You want to jump on, Tommy? Is that what you're saying? Uh, 100K to get good perks. Oh yeah, and people do. 100, they do. But so Stephen A. Smith is saying that because Trump's in that he is retaliating. Well, maybe. I hope he is. I hope he is. What else we got? John Sally.
Joining us now, the legend, four-time NBA champion. He was the first NBA player to win a ring with 3 different teams. He did it in 3 different decades. John Sally. John, I know we've got a big announcement to make coming up, but first we got to get to the news of the day. When you saw the scope of the criminal charges and the specific people involved, were you surprised?
I was extremely surprised. I woke up and my phone was buzzing. I said, it's not even time to wake up, but I woke up. I was on the phone with ex-teammates. It's amazing. It is amazing what has happened. I can't believe certain guys would do certain things like that. You know, I hate losing. So it was never something that I would even think about.
So there are 2 big scandals here. There's the allegation of rigged poker games and then the allegation of rigged basketball games. In those conversations you're having with current players, how are they reacting?
You know, one guy was thinking, well, maybe you would understand if he did it, but Chauncey Billups is an ex-Piston. I love Chauncey Billups. I don't know. I'm not going to take any sides. I wouldn't believe Chauncey would do something like that. But you can get put in some crazy situations. I mean, I won the Bodog when that was around, poker tournament, but it wasn't rigged. It was a big charity event. And
No shit, Magooch. That's badass. I used to have games that used to go for 2 days. I had the biggest games on. That's awesome. Yeah, I always wanted to go to 4, 5, 6 games. When I worked at the casino, there was a guy I knew that would go to. It was in Eastern Washington, and there was a bunch of high rollers that would get together a couple times a year and play dice. A game called 4, 5, 6, and I fucking love that game. If I was going to gamble, like if I could pick a game to gamble just with people got together and it was just all equal, nobody was cheating, 4, 5, 6 would definitely be one of them, man. I fucking love that game. One person's the banker. Or Nam Thao, which is a Thai, they call it sick bow in the casinos. You guys ever played that? Nam Thao. I love being the banker on that game. So I guess the people who are in government that have been using their power to go after the Trump family and friends shouldn't expect. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Raid my wife's underwear drawer in my kid's fucking bedroom and don't expect me to come back at you. You know what I mean? I'm the fucking Don, bitch. I'm coming. He's coming for you already know. I mean, it hasn't even begun yet, right? See no evil. Osada, but top notch, no cheating and no liquor. Yeah, liquor is definitely. That's wise. That's awesome, Magooch. Yeah, and you know, like Nadu was saying on his show last night, you know, these things go on. He said, there's another poker game going on right now tonight. And he goes, if I could be there, invited, he goes, I'd be there. Because he's right, you know, and most of those games are badass. There is no cheating involved. And it's, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, and he's right, you can't take a rake. It is illegal to take a rake, which can get you arrested real quick. There's rules in all the states about that. If you're going to have a poker game at your house, you can't take a rake. You know, it's just how it is now. Have I done that before? Maybe. You know, I used to have poker games at my house all the time. But what we would do is we would just have people, just everybody, mandatory, give us money. When I would do it with Asians, because we used to all get together and play Texas Hold'em tournaments when I worked at Muckleshoot at the casino. So that was just a bunch of American and tribal degenerates that got together. It was just a melting pot of everybody. But when I was younger, I hung out with all Asians, Laotian, Thai, Vietnamese, Chinese guys. And we played Thai poker, a game called Cow, which means 9 in Thai. 3 cards, cash game, lots of cash. And I can't remember my point. Can't remember my point to that story. When I would gamble. Tao. Oh, now I remember. It was just, I think I was just talking about how fun it was to gamble in those private games. They were a lot of fun. I had a blast. Oh, I remember what I was saying, not taking the rake. We would all just mandatory take, make everybody chip in $20 because we would gamble all night. So there'd be, 20 people there or whatever. We'd get $400 or $500 chipped in from everybody. And then we would send a couple people to the store, buy a bunch of beer, buy a bunch of food, buy a carton of cigarettes or a couple cartons of cigarettes, get everybody smoked Marlboro Lights. And, probably like some fucking desserts and shit. And we would fucking party all night long. And never any problems. Just fucking gambling, having fun. And then when we at like 7 a.m, the bookie line would open up, and then we would start. Everybody would start fucking reading the newspaper again, and we would be talking about it all night anyway. And people would bet on football, and it was just a cycle of fucking degenerate life, and we loved it. That's back when I was like 17 years old. I was hanging out with the 20-year-old crowd, gambling my ass off. I remember when my uncles and friends would play Italian cards all night in early hours of the mornings, playing for beers. Yeah. Who doesn't love to gamble, but the casinos in the United States, that's not gambling. That's throwing your money away. Not to mention that you just subject yourself to the most awful treatment, horrible customer service, horrible food, go through this fucking metal detector, go through this fucking cancer device, be around all these fucking dirty people. There's homeless and drugs, and the fucking parking lots smell like piss. The slot machine paybacks have been lowered to basically a criminal rate. They're woke, wearing pride shirts. I mean, get the fuck out of here. It's not even worth it. So let's continue with this a little bit.
I really don't gamble. So, to hear that guys were even a part of that makes no sense to me.
Chauncey Billups is a legend. He's NBA royalty. Yes. I mean, these indictments, though, are alleging some pretty specific conduct, and they're alleging involvement with the Gambino crime family, the Bonanno crime family, the Genovese crime family. I didn't even know that the mafia was still around, but when they describe having specific glasses that can see insignia on cards, when they talk about messages being sent to someone off-site and then relaying back for hand signals, it sounds pretty sophisticated. Is the mafia often around NBA players?
I wouldn't think so. And I don't, when I heard,
I wouldn't think so. Shut the fuck up, John Sally. Are you kidding me? Are you really killing me? Are you really kidding me, dude? How long were you in the NBA? I mean, he's afraid to even fucking talk. And Matt Gaetz, I mean, I love you. For you to say that you didn't think that the mob was still around, get the fuck out of here, dude. What are we, 3? I mean, you're part of the government. You were in the government, dude. You didn't know that the crime family still existed? See, that's part of the problem with what we deal with as slaves of the United States. We're just fed slave slop. We're fed fucking garbage. We're never given the truth from anybody. Everybody works for somebody. Everybody has an agenda, and nobody tells the truth. And so they come on here and they lie through their fucking teeth. And we just, that's why it just fucking irritates the shit out of me. And he thinks we are idiots, 100%. The entire government thinks we're idiots. I went to school with John Sally and Carnice. He was a dummy then. That's funny, Magooch. Right on. Yeah, I believe nothing he says. Nothing.
Heard that, and it was so specific on wearing glasses. One, I don't know the guys that wear glasses while playing poker. Two,
are you serious? You don't know guys that wear glasses playing poker? Do you watch fucking Poker After Dark or the World Series of Poker or any fucking poker game that's ever existed ever since the beginning of time? So what are you telling us? You've never seen a poker game? What do you mean that you've never seen someone wear fucking glasses at a poker table? What?
It
that
happens.
means they would have to have they would have to have an earpiece in. And the fact that you even said we thought the mafia was only in the movies. I didn't even know that, that was still a thing or a thing ever. So to hear that they were involved with hearing things and being able to see through cards is very James Bond, very Mission Impossible. But obviously it's not impossible if they have this much information.
Stephen A. Smith fashions himself as a basketball expert. We aren't sure if he ever played the game competitively, but he did find a way to blame President Trump for the NBA's criminal gambling scandal. Take a listen and react on the other side.
Trump is coming. He's coming. Don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised.
So what do you make of Stephen A. Smith trying to make all of this about Trump?
Well, I understand that Stephen A. Smith, this is his first take. So we got to check out take 2, take 3, take 4. I don't know if I think when he says Trump, he's referring to all the different shakeups. The FBI is coming. So I think he's got it mixed up. I don't know why he would bring Trump into the conversation. This was not part of the conversation. This was the FBI investigating for 4 years. And Trump has been in office for 8 months or 9 months. So I don't know why he would even bring President Trump into the conversation. But, if you are doing television and you're doing...
His microphone sucks. Sorry if anybody's got headphones on. And there wasn't any good interviews out there. I didn't have time to look at YouTube too much, so that's the best we got. This investigation's still early, so I'm sure there'll be a lot more information that comes out about it. But I talked to him today. Till today, Carl Connie. See no evil. 2 of them made it big that I went to school with, John Sally and Carl Connie. Carl Williams is a multimillionaire. Nice. Big stain on the NBA. Oh, this is huge. Stephen A. is a jerk off. He is 100%. Yeah, no, this could completely take down the NBA. I mean, people are saying it's fake now. I mean, that's just coming out and saying, and then, and I think Matt Gaetz just flat out asked John Sally that, and he goes, I wouldn't say it's fake. Like what? That's where we're at. That's your answer. No, it is fake. It's all rigged. And it's not just the NBA. Horse racing, football, baseball, it's all rigged. Anytime you have that much money involved, you know, the investors are going to get their return on investment, period. And it ain't based on players' performance. That's for damn sure. He's the biggest phony and believes the reason is Trump. Why? Because they were going after criminals, not Trump. Yeah. So let's see here. Do we got anything else on this? I do like this real quick. You know, everybody's giving Trump shit about the ballroom. He tore down the east wing of the White House, and he's building a $300 million ballroom. But apparently, like the White House, like that section of the White House had like fucking bats living in the roof, and it's all just like decrepit and shit. You know, you need to renovate once in a while.
What about just uprooting the, this is an iconic building?
Mono, I will just say this. I made this point yesterday that I hear all of a sudden from my liberal friends that they're very concerned about our history. Really, these are the same people who tore down every statue they could get their hands on in the last 4 years. Christopher Columbus, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt. They didn't have any concern for history then. Now all of a sudden, like, oh, the facade of the East Wing is iconic. Oh, give me a break. I mean,
100%. The facade of the East Wing is iconic. Yeah, no, it's not. We would much rather, and like Trump said, you put tables together, they could fit 79 people. This is the White House. It deserves to have a beautiful, you know what I mean? Like, but it's because the government is a facade. They are a fucking, it's a stage and it's kabuki theater. And we'll talk about, it's, the WNBA got lucky. This happened. Nobody will pay attention to the 7-year-old genderless, whatever the fuck that means. Kid twerking for the half. Yeah, that thing was fucking weird too. I don't know, man. I think it's crazy. Like it's so early. Like, I just feel like, of course these guys everybody's going to play dumb. I'm sure everybody in Congress is somehow, some way involved in the sports scandal themselves. Who's all going to be implicated in this? I have a feeling like Michael Jordan's name for some reason is going to come out, or Shaquille O'Neal, or somebody's name. Somebody big is going to go down. Definitely, they've already talked about LeBron. Apparently, LeBron's implicated in this, although I couldn't find anything on him, but I keep hearing that his name is coming up. So, have a great day. All I have to get Tommy's channel. Yep. We'll be ending here soon. Thank you, Magooch. Have a good one. Howie is the best. Yeah, is a beast. Yeah, now he is. Love that dude. He fucking tells it like it is. The ballroom is in need of renovation, and $300 million is chump change compared to the billions and all. Yeah, 100%. We'll have something to show for it. And he has more donors to help with the cost. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm all for it. See, we've got anything else real quick? We did that one. One last video we got here. Let's see here.
Since I've found many in this room to repeatedly deny the reality that Democrats gave Medicaid benefits to illegals, and they continue to seek to do just that, I've brought a few verified examples for you today. These are examples of some of the illegals who received Medicaid benefits under President Biden's leadership, and this is what Democrats are wanting to do. This is why they are continuing to keep the government closed. An illegal alien from Laos was arrested for murder, robbery, and felony possession of a firearm. An illegal alien from Guatemala who was arrested for rape and burglary. An illegal alien from El Salvador who was arrested for strangulation, DUI, and burglary. An illegal alien from Mexico who was arrested for attempted murder. The Democrats' open border policies allowed these threats into our country, and then they provided them with free health care. Since I've found many in this room to repeatedly deny the reality that Democrats gave Medicaid benefits to illegals, and they continue to seek to do just that, I've brought a few verified examples.
It's just enraging to hear that kind of shit, that those people get our fucking benefits. They shouldn't even deport them. They should just kill them. LeBron was going to be put on injured list. LeBron was hurt, and someone he knows leaked he wasn't going to play. Game time decision, and everyone bet on the other team. Damn. Waste of money. Are you getting any benefit from the ballroom? Well, Don, I mean, waste of money. The money that we waste in this fucking country is fucking unbelievable. Yeah, no, I would love to see LeBron go down. I'm not sure, Mustang, if he does. Let me ask ChatGPT. Does LeBron still play for the Lakers? Let's see. Yes, he does. According to multiple sources, James exercised his $52.6 million player option for the 25-26 season with the Lakers. It says a few caveats. While he's still with the team, there are strong indications that his role is shifting, and discussions are ongoing about how long he will continue playing. There is media speculation about possible changes ahead, different team, retirement, change in role. Yeah, maybe it's jail. Maybe that's your change in role. Maybe you're going to go be butt buddies with Diddy in fucking Fort Dix. Fucking Fort Cox with your fucking butt buddy. You hear about Diddy woke up to a knife to his throat? Somebody said, motherfucker, you don't fucking give me $1 million by tomorrow, I'm gonna fucking shank you next time, bitch. Take this as a warning, Diddy. Puff Daddy, Diddy, whatever the fuck your name is. Next time I'll fucking stick you with this knife, motherfucker. And then they left. And so he's scared shitless right now. He's going to get it. He better fucking pay up. Them boys don't play in prison. They'll stick him faster than a fucking pig. Yes, instead of paying for benefits at outside venues for exorbitant prices, we can entertain all our guests at the White House. 100. Carolyn Levitt is a breath of fresh air after listening to cringe. Yeah, she was on the news recently too, right? She's a fucking dumb bitch. Yeah, you're right. I fucking love Carolyn. Carolyn and Kayla too. Kayla McKinney or whatever. The first Trump press secretary. She was badass. I think she's on Fox News or something now. LeBron will be left out of the Jordan Kobe LeBron debate if he goes down for this. 100%. Yep. The majority of the renovations is going to be done with donations. Did he going to get a train ran on him? No lube. Yep. Yeah, she has straight hair now, still defending Biden. Yeah, what a fucking... God, I couldn't stand that fucking bitch. But you know what? I liked her more than I liked Jen Psaki. That devil, satanic fucking... Oh, she is just a sourpuss, man. I can't fucking stand her. She's the worst. At least Jean-Pierre, whatever that lady's name was, Carolyn Pierre, or I don't know, Pierre, whatever her name was. At least she was kind of soft-spoken. She had a pleasant voice, even though everything she said was bullshit. Psaki, the most unattractive woman ever created, Jen Psaki. Yep, sideways and no baby. Yeah, So LeBron, I never liked LeBron. I quit watching the NBA a long time ago. That was the first. That was the one sport that we were we were all into the NBA back when Jordan played. The Detroit Pistons, the Lakers, the Sonics, of course the Bulls. I mean, there were so many good teams. The fucking Indiana Pacers with Reggie, Golden State, Phoenix with Barkley. I mean, there's Hakeem Olajuwon, fucking David Robinson, Karl Malone, John Stockton, fucking. There was iconic players back then, and it was a fucking rough sport, man. You get fucking the shit kicked out of you in the paint back then. You know what I mean? Like now you can't even fucking. I don't even know what the rules are now. I think you literally have to touch somebody's cock. You have to let them fucking rub your dick before you can do a layup. Give me a kiss, French kiss me and touch my butthole before you fucking slam dunk the basketball. Let me see if you have a dick or a vagina before you fucking go up for your layup. I mean, who knows what the fucking rules are these days? It's fucking disgusting. I mean, like I said, I quit watching it fucking a long time ago, so I have no idea. Pasaki had a resting bitch face. 100% she did. I don't really watch any sports now. If I do, it's college, especially softball. Okay, yep. See, I watch snooker, but even snooker fell victim to a cheating scandal. I don't know if you guys know what snooker is, but it's like the European version of billiards, where they use the red balls and the colored balls. I fucking love that game. And they had a cheating scandal last year where there was like some top-ranked, at least one top-ranked Chinese player. They were basically all Chinese players that got busted. But they used AI to determine that they were purposely missing shots. So it's like the computer is like determined like, hey, motherfucker, you should have made that fucking shot. And then they do some investigation and come to find out, yep, they were approached by the mob, and this is what. And so there's people that got lifetime bans in the snooker world last year for a cheating scandal. The DEI hire that could her book be about how much she lied to the American people. Yeah, that whole thing was a joke. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Tommy's on. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I got to get a move on, get my strawberries dipped. So we'll follow the gambling scandal a little bit more closely. Although the perfect distraction that everybody's interested in, when they get your mind and your attention shifted to one direction, look for something else to happen. So, look for another bomb to be dropped today, or a fucking tidal wave, or who fucking knows, something. So stay safe, everyone. Yep. Code Train, See No Evil, Dawn, Mustang, Tommy, Magooch, all you guys. We will talk to you soon.